Hello my lovely language learners, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. In this video, I am going to show you guys a very realistic result of language learning for 3 years. I will show you guys my reading skills, my speaking skills and my listening skills. I will also show you guys how I studied for 3 years, how much time I spent on it every single day, and how you can learn faster if you wish to. I am making this video for an important reason. It's to show you guys a realistic result of language learning after 3 years. On social media and YouTube, you will see videos like I learned a language in 1 year and then they start speaking in a language, and when people watch it they think they are very fluent in the language. It just that video gives the impression that they have learned the language properly, fluently in just 1 year. While in reality, that's not the case. The video you see is actually a scripted video which they already have memorized the script and they speak from that. After watching those type of videos, people began to learn the language, and after 1 year they realized they are not even close to being fluent. And what does that result in? It results in people leaving the language. They decide that they should not learn it because they just cannot do it. While in reality, that person in the video is also not fluent. He was just reading from the script. So in this video, you guys will see a realistic result of language learning. Let's get started. Alright, so let's talk about reading. In terms of reading, I can read everyday things, but I do come across new vocabulary quite frequently. But this issue of coming across new vocabulary again and again, this can stay with you for a very long time. But since my readings are digital, all I have to do is just highlight it, and using plugins, I can translate it, suspect it, as you can see. I can do this with multiple words, I mean sentences. It just makes finding out the answers quite easy. You don't have to waste time on looking words in dictionary. This issue that you will keep coming across new vocabulary again and again quite frequently, it just takes time. It will stay with you for a very long time. Just keep in mind, when you are learning a language, you will keep coming across a new vocabulary, especially when you are reading. When you are looking at videos, typically when people speak, they use much more common words for speaking. But when people write, they use more complex sentences and more complex set of vocabulary. That is something to keep in mind. Now the content I read is basically French articles, news, technology and things like that. But when it comes to things like French poetry and philosophy, I'm just not there. Those things are quite difficult for me to understand, and right now I don't practice reading using such type of material. So poetry and philosophy and things like that, no. But politics and magazines and things like that, news, I just I read it and I can understand it. So overall speaking, normal everyday things that are posted on social media like news, funny stuff and other science articles, I can understand those and I read it, and but I do come across new vocabulary. In terms of listening, I am very happy with my progress. In the last video I made, the 2-year progress, I showed you guys that this video, her videos I used to watch, and I could understand it, but I had to focus on the video and watch it to understand it. If I was doing something else and was not focusing on the video, then I was not able to understand it. Just to give you an idea how she speaks, she is basically a French teacher also, and also makes video logs for French learners, and she speaks easy French. So just take a listen to it.
Terrasse, au soleil, dans un café. Là, on est rentré à l'appartement, il pleut dehors et on est en train de...
So she speaks like this, and this is what I was able to understand if I was focusing on the video. If I was doing something else, I was not able to understand it. This was 2 years ago. Now 3 years, well, I am actually very happy with the progress. This is what I understand.
Et François Bayrou a nommé son nouveau gouvernement, Bruno Retailleau reste à l'intérieur, Manuel Valls hérite du ministère.
And now I can understand the French news. I watch lots of news because I also enjoy it a lot, so that's why also. And now there's a problem with the news. If you are watching news, it has its own set of challenges. The biggest one would be news can talk about anything that is happening around the world. There is no fixed limited topic, and they might be talking about a topic which has a set of vocabulary that I have very little knowledge of. In that case, it is difficult for me to understand. But most of the time, I can understand the news and I can understand it. There is also another challenge. Sometimes a French native speaker with very weird French accent will start speaking, and that is also difficult for me to understand. So there is that part too. Overall speaking, I watch YouTube videos a lot in French. Now this entire channel you guys are seeing, I created it for watching French videos. I watch lots of French videos on it. There is a little problem. Sometimes listening to French native speakers, it can be difficult because of their dialects, and it's difficult to understand what they are trying to say. So there is that problem. Other than that, I am no longer limited to YouTube videos that were designed for new French learners. I watch videos that are designed now for native speakers to watch and enjoy. And like I watch lots of French videos, as you can see. If you come down here, you can see I watch a ton of YouTube videos. So there is that. I created this channel and I just keep watching YouTube videos designed for French native speakers, and I enjoy it. Now, in terms of audio material, audio only material such as podcast and other listening material, I listen to lots and lots of podcasts. Along with that, I also listen to audiobooks, but mostly I listen to podcasts. When I'm in office working, there are podcasts in my ear playing, and I just listen to it while I'm working. Just 6 months ago, working and listening to French podcasts was actually not possible for me because I was not able to understand it. Unless I was focusing on what I was listening, I was not able to understand properly what they were saying. But now it is not the issue anymore. I can work and listen at the same time, and I understand what they are trying to say. So that's like, I'm very happy about this progress. Before I continue, please, if you are a native French speaker, please write down in comments that how much you can actually understand me. I know there will be mistakes because I need to practice my speaking a lot, but if you guys can understand me and how much you can understand me, please write down in comments. So I am not going to do basic greetings and introductions, etc. because that is just too easy and I will look like I'm very fluent in the language, which is not the case. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do explanation of how my speaking is. And explanations in any new language is just very difficult. So I am not even sure if I will be able to do it, but you know what? Let's find out. Alors, je parle beaucoup de choses en français, mais je ne peux pas parler toutes les choses en français comme je peux faire dans ma langue maternelle. J'ai besoin d'expliquer plus. Pas de personne peut parler toutes les choses dans son langue maternelle aussi, mais ce que je veux dire est quand je voudrais parler de choses complexes en français, je ne peux pas faire ça. C'est très difficile pour moi. Alors, c'est le problème à ce moment. Dans cette langue, le français est la troisième langue plus faible. Et dans mon quatre langues, je peux parler les choses complexes facilement, mais ce n'est pas le cas dans le français à ce moment. Alors, je n'ai pas pratiqué mon français l'oral avec vraie personne. J'ai seulement utilisé le cours Spindler, tous les 5 levels, et j'ai fait vidéo sur ça aussi. Et c'est ça. Si vous voulez devenir fluent speaker dans une langue, vous avez besoin de parler avec vraie personne. Si vous ne faites pas ça, vous ne jamais devenir a fluent speaker. Alright, that was difficult. Now I have made a previous video. Maybe you guys have seen it, and in that I speak a bit more fluently than what I did right now. That's because what I just did was a more complex speaking task compared to what I said previously. In that video I was talking about daily life things, daily life conversation. Whereas in this video I was trying to explain and explanations are difficult. So that's why it looks a bit more rough, but I can't do explanations. It's just you see it's not really good. So there is that. And yeah, this is what realistically speaking looks like if you have not practiced and learned a language for 3 years. So this is how it is. Overall speaking, I can now go to France. I can also work there if I want to. And but jobs like lawyer and customer service and things like that, they are just not possible with this level of French. I need more advanced level. Also, French is a a major world language, and I wish to take it to all the way to C1 level. And I will also be giving a C1 level test in French so that I can have a proper certificate for that. So yes, I still have a very long road to go, and my speaking is weak, but typically I don't practice speaking a lot until I am very good in reading and listening, like very perfect. Once those reaches to perfect level, then I start speaking. And you need to do a lot of speaking practices in order to get fluent in speaking. But before doing speaking practice, I tend to take my reading and listening levels to a very high level. Once that is done, practicing your speaking becomes just much more easier. So yeah, right now practicing speaking is just not my priority. It's reading and listening. Now my studying. So every single day, what I would do is for 30 minutes to 1 hour, I would do active study for French language. After that, the entire day, I would do side studies, which will be mostly by listening to podcasts and watching videos and using some apps. Right now, I don't use that many apps. I mostly watch videos and listen to podcasts while I'm working. And that's pretty much the side studies. The length of side studies would vary. It can be 1 or 2 hours every day, or even 5 or 6 hours. It really depends. I listen to podcasts when I'm working, so that's how I do my side studies. And when I'm home, I watch French YouTube videos and main study. So mainly 30 minutes to 1 hour main study, and then side studies, which range from 1-2 hours to 5-6 hours. It really depends what I'm doing all over the day. Sometimes during work I cannot listen to podcasts due to the nature of the work, but many times I can work and listen to podcasts, and it's not that big of a problem. Now, how different will your result be if you study for 3 years? Well, if you study like max 1 hour every single day and then do side studying, then your result will be very similar to mine. But if you know a similar language to French, such as Spanish, Italian, these type of languages, they are in the same language family as French. If you are learning a language and you know a language that is in the same family, then learning that language becomes much easier. So your progress will actually be better if you already know Spanish or Italian. Then French learning will be much faster. But if you are learning a language like Chinese, Arabic, Japanese, well, these languages are different. They are very difficult. They function very differently compared to that of English, French, etc. And your progress will be much slower compared to other languages like French and German, because they are much easier to learn compared to these other languages. Now let's just say there is a situation that you are going to France and you need to learn the language in 1 or 2 years. You know that 2 years later you will be studying in France and things like that. Well, then you need to do at least 3 to 4 hours of active study every single day. Along with that, you need to do side studying also. So there's just no other way to it. If you study 3 to 4 hours every day, expect my kind of similar result in about 1 year. And also, since you know you are going to France in 1 year, then you need to start practicing speaking also. Like after this 3 months, you need to start practicing speaking. Like there is no other way to it. If you don't speak, then you will not be able to speak properly. So speaking practice need to start like at least like after 3 months you need to start speaking, and it's very important. Me personally, I am learning French in a very chill manner. I am not going to France very soon, or I am not sure if I will even go there one day. but I'm just learning it to know about the culture, the media, to understand its media and things like that. It's more like a hobby. I'm treating it as a hobby, but for a need, if you have to learn it for job or whatever reasons, then you need to work harder for this. So this is how a language realistically looks like after 3 years of studying for not more than 1 hour a day, actively, along with side studies. And will I make a 4-year update? I don't think so. But maybe I will make an update when I reach C1 level, and I will be taking test for it also. Maybe I will show that too. And yeah, this is what language looks like. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in comments, and I will see you guys again.